then we're making anti-progress. We're regressing as a society, and we've fallen a long way. People are dying out on the street. Women more and more are dying out on the street. The heat around here, it'll kill you, man. A lot of people that aren't strong. I mean, that to me is a health and safety violation. They talk about Obamacare and all this. People that are homeless can't even get medical care. They depend on free clinics and stuff like that to get any help. That's what's going on. If they don't have an address, they can't get any services. It's a catch-22. I mean, Section 8, forget it. Besides that, Section 8 waiting list, you'll be on there for the rest of your life in some areas. Or they won't even let you on the list. I mean, this is the way it works because they've got a flat budget, okay? Because the landlords are greedy. I'm not all of them. I mean, look, we need landlords. We need innkeepers, a certain amount. But it's just like taxi drivers. They know, hey, what if everybody said, this is a pretty good gig. I can make a lot of money being a taxi driver. They put regulations in place. So we say, okay, well, you could be landlord if you're handicapped, you're disabled, you're a senior citizen. But every Tom, Dick, and Harry, able-bodied man and woman out there ought to stay out of the business. And also, they should regulate it to keep people away from the lower-end properties, the stuff that's coveted by a young couple getting married and hoping to buy their first home. Okay, there's got to be affordable housing for people. Have all the gentrification you want. Build all the mansionist neighborhoods you want. I don't care. I don't resent the rich. I don't resent the upper middle class or the middle class. Have whatever niceties you want. I'm fine with it. I don't prescribe to communism or socialism, the Robin Hood theory. Even if it was virtuous, okay, it doesn't work. Taking from others, that's like theft and giving to others, okay, taking from Peter to robbing Peter to pay Paul. I don't prescribe to that. But I can agree there is some virtue in the sense that, well, yeah, it's noble to take from the rich and give to the poor if the rich are being tightwads and it's all their fault, but it's not. It's all the fault of the money printing class. The billionaires are nobodies, really. They have a finite amount of money. I mean, it could be calculated down to the last red cent of the billionaires, the multi-billionaires. But when it comes to the money printing class, these are the people to be held accountable, responsible. It's them and those that legitimize the policies that they undertake. And that's the highest politicians out there. Who is that? The Congress and the Senate, those that have to sign off with their vote, right? They have to vote to legitimize this debt, ever increasing debt. Okay, not putting their foot down and just handing it off, giving themselves raises for destroying the economy, but for destroying the hopes of the blue-collar working-class people out there. This is wrong. This is evil in the land, and it's been flourishing, and we've got to admit it. We've got to admit that its implications are horrendous on regular people. It's horrible. The whole society is under a curse. And this is this unnatural, this artificial, manufactured, invented consternation I'm talking about. That's what makes me pissed off. That's what makes me uptight. That's what freaks me out. That's what makes me an apologist. Okay, I am sorry. I'm so sorry what's happened in the land. But as soon as I've started seeing this thing, we've been going downhill since 1963 at the assassination of JFK. Because he was a good American. He believed in equality. He was an egalitarian. He believed in sound economic policies, okay? He believed in sound money. He believed in supply and demand, free market. He believed that a rising tide of prosperity, if working properly, would create a rising tide of prosperity across the board. You understand? It would lift the least of men, the minimum wage workers, just through increased worth in currency. Not through perpetual raises and cost of living adjustments. You wouldn't need that. We could give wage deductions. I would love to give my customers a cost reduction. I'd feel like my job security was more intact. But there's people out there that they just get into a job to, charge a lot of money. I mean, if you own a mechanic shop, you could charge a lot if you're a good mechanic. Or if you own a plumbing company, just get in a plumbing company. But you know what? I mean, do these people think about the hardship it might be causing their customers? How do they feel? They might also. Okay, the ethical ones, they'd say, you know what, that would feel good to lower my prices. Set a trend. I mean, this is what needs to happen. We need to get a chain reaction and reverse going. If Trump is going to be successful, we all got to start getting some understanding here. Come out of ignorance, come out of confusion, come out of Babylon, and understand what it's going to take. All of us putting in our 2 cents worth and understanding it's okay. Maybe I can afford $1 less in my hourly cost. We've got to work together here. The service industry and the commodities industry. I mean, if the farmers in California have to accept less for their produce, that's what I understand is going on. That's a trend. Then all the people that service the farmers need to take that into account. They say, well, maybe I ought to drop my price by 10%. And just, you understand how this chain reaction in reverse to increase the worth of our currency? I mean, people worry about their numbers going down. I say, look, I understand on the surface, superficially speaking, it looks bad. It looks negative for you as you see your numbers go down. But always take heart and understand this. Remember, simultaneously, concurrently, the worth of your currency is going up. So albeit you may not be able to measure it in numbers, you can measure it in terms of prosperity, because that thing you have to buy costs you less numbers. So you got to put out less numbers. So if your numbers are going down, they can actually be going up in worth more quickly. And that's what the establishmentarians are deathly afraid of, is that people will have that understanding, that empowerment. That's what knowledge is. That's what true education is. That's what true information is. If it's accurate, then it's sanctified. It's empowering. And God says, yes, that's true. That's how you will set the captives free. It's free from the money masters and their evil spell they've had on humanity for thousands of years. They've been pulling this crap on us. And it is powerful, man. It is a powerful force. They're not doing anything. They're just bloodsuckers out there. They're not contributing anything to humanity. They're just using this concentrated power in the form of money, okay? Whatever form manifestation that money takes, okay? And it's concentrated power. And all they have to do is have possession of that concentrated power. And they can have all the goods and services in forever, in perpetuity. How is that right? How does that make any sense? How is that okay for us to accept? Okay, we should not be. We should be very intolerant toward ignorance and confusion, and that's where I'm coming from. But I've got to try to reach people in a way that's going to be effective, not by excoriating them in a way that's condemning, but in a way that is very tactful and diplomatic and polite as best I can. I'm trying to be effective. I'm trying to reach people. Everybody. I'm trying to reach capitalists that aren't out there speaking out enough against crony capitalism. I'm trying to reach good socialists out there that think, no, you know what, I'm going this way. This is my beliefs. These are my philosophies. And I understand. But we've all got to understand how profoundly and roundly and dramatically we've all been duped into believing in this system, and it's wrong. We need to get away from it. We need to get away from money entirely. We need to work that direction. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what spells absolute freedom for all. Because while there's different forms of freedom, if we're to be absolutely free, I cannot be beholden to the money masters, and yet I am. The cost of living is literally a tax on our survival. It's a tax on our very existence. And people got to get that. And we got to work against these monsters. They hate humanity. They don't give a crap if you're the best socialist on earth. They don't give a crap if you're the best capitalist on earth. They don't care who the hell you are. They want their money. They're willing to kill to keep their power, their position in place. And they're trying to inculcate humanity with that same spirit, to where we are so in love with our position in place and being moneyed and our possessions and all this crap that we didn't care if half the people had to die as long as we got to keep our position in place. That's what they're doing to us. And it is completely wrong, up one side and down the other, okay? And yet look where we're at. And then we're going to wonder what God's pissed off about. I mean, we should know. We're letting people die. I'm letting people die. You're letting people die. We're letting people die. And each of us is all of us, okay? And when bad things happen to our fellow human beings, they're happening to us. We've got to give a damn, okay? And remember, my complaint isn't about the naturals, the organic suffering that we have to experience. That's not my complaint. I know that's all going to be changed someday, as promised in Scripture, at the end of the age, at the renewal of all things. Okay, I'm talking about the manufactured, artificial problems that we have. It's unnecessary, and it needs to be stopped.